Good evening, everyone. Gabe Velazquez here with you. TransparentTradingSolutions.com on a Tuesday. This is the last day of October, last day of the worst seasonal patterns. I don't know if that makes any difference here. In front of the Fed tomorrow, obviously things can get really volatile depending on the impact of what the Fed does. Clearly, every Fed meeting. We can also point to the Fed meeting actually being crescendo type events, big major events. Whether that happens tomorrow is, obviously will remains to be seen. And also, we got a jobs number on Friday, which could also be obviously impactful. So let's get right into the charts. A couple things. I have a class coming up in 2 days, Thursday. That will be during live market session, which I wanted to do that purposely so we can actually go through the lesson and actually watch the market as it's moving. That is the day before. That's right in front of the Apple earnings. We'll analyze that. It's about mispricing. We are having a lot of markets in that kind of beaten down. Where they overextend, kind of overshoot. You can make the case that maybe the stock market overshot here, and now it's just correcting a little bit of that. So again, join me for that if you want. It's a free class. Sign up below on the link. That's coming up on Thursday at 11 Pacific, 2 Eastern. Okay. I do have limited attendance on that, so if you are going to want to attend, go ahead and sign up right away, because I'm going to probably have to shut that down pretty quick here. We're getting pretty full. Okay. All right. So let's get into the charts, everybody. Let's see what happens here. Let's see. We are rebounding. Let me get into the charts here, starting with the S&P real quick. I made mention over the weekend, we are in a big weekly demand zone in the averages. We're coming out. Whether, again, this is anything that's going to move the dial or it's just another minor pullback. Clearly, tomorrow's Fed interest rate still pretty much driving as well. So the fact that interest rates have held below 5 on the 10-year, I think, is helping the market at least stabilize for now. But we do have a bunch of levels up top here in the S&P that look actually pretty good. If and when we get another rally, or maybe this thing just flops over tomorrow and we make a new low, there aren't a lot of quality levels on the S&P to speak of. You got a bunch of there's support here where we're bouncing from. See, this is just a major support area right here around 41. This guy right here, so you can see I drew this yellow box. It's just a support really close to that 41-20 area. Nothing really below that. All the decent levels are actually in the NASDAQ. I think I mentioned that down in here, which obviously we're rallying above that, and then we have some levels up top. So all in all, you can make the case that this is just a bounce in the ongoing down move, but it's too early to say. I would be very cautious shorting until we have actually, more price movement up higher. That's generally when, again, if you shorted anything down in here, you didn't make a lot of money. If you waited all the way out to these levels out here is where you made, obviously that seems to be the case. That's always the case, right? So this may be the case where we may have to rally a couple 300 points on the NASDAQ before you can actually have a higher probability short. But it's very tricky. I mean, the way it's been coming up is just meandering, really. I mean, you can see how choppy and meandering the move has been right here. Even the NASDAQ's been kind of lagging. One thing notable, if you don't follow Nvidia, watch Nvidia. It did actually pierce 400. That could be a tell in terms of the NASDAQ. Obviously, that is, the biggest chip maker, and obviously the also a big component of the NASDAQ 100. So that is notable. I don't know if you guys saw that. So look at Nvidia. It's got huge support at 400. It's been banging down against 400 for 4 or 5 times. So there is a probability that it breaks down. And in fact, there's a huge gap to fill all the way down into the low 300. So if that happens, that can be that can spell trouble for the markets. So check it out. Dow also all over the map here. We did have Friday sold off because of Exxon and so forth. We got a bounce off of the energy shares a little bit. Now we're right back up again. Again, just very, very messy all around. Nothing really to mention on the Russell. Bonds just churning here. You can see back and forth. Nothing again. Yields between 4.80 and 5. If they break 5, that's again going to be another headwind for the stock market. Dollar looked like it wants to break out with the yen also making a 16. I'm talking about like excuse me, 30-year low against the dollar. So that's going to be interesting. Here's the yen. I do believe the yen, the Bank of Japan may step in here if we break that low right here, that 66.20 low. There is a shot that the Bank of Japan will come in and intervene. They left interest rates alone, which is disappointing. That's why I think a lot of folks were afraid. A lot of traders were afraid to short the yen because again they're fearful that an intervention is going to come. But the fact that they left rates alone maybe emboldened the shorts again on the yen. But I would say if we break below that, that could be careful because that's when. Wouldn't shock me if the Bank of Japan comes in and intervenes. Gold hovering around the same level, can't break above 2,000. It's been churning again for the last week with what's going on in the Middle East. Since that situation hasn't really had any new developments. We know that Israel did make the incursion in there, but it was actually a lot less than people were expecting. But overall, as long as, again, as the situation doesn't worsen or spill over into other areas, looks like we're going to probably stay around 2,000. It's still going to stay elevated until that situation actually calms down. Also, oil broke down, which again is baffling a lot of people in the midst of what's going on with in the Middle East. In fact, oil couldn't get above 90 and now is at 88. In fact, it's been chopping around here for the last week or so. You can see right there, kept bouncing around 86, back and forth between 82 and 86. And it looks like it may be breaking down a little bit here. Also notable was nat gas in the energy space. Nat gas shot up today, and this could be another. It broke above 3. This is a rollover gap. I was expecting maybe it comes back down to 3 for another retest of the 3, but clearly now we'll see if it's got to break above 380 in order for the full breakout to happen. So we'll see what happens there, and then nothing else really on the grains. So overall, everybody, we got the Fed meeting tomorrow, which, be ready for some volatility. The fact, again, the VIX is sitting at hovering around 18 to 20. If it comes back down to 15, that I think will also present a good shorting opportunity. That obviously in conjunction with the S&P rallying maybe another 100 points and the VIX coming back down to 15, if that's the case, because everybody's talking about the Santa Claus rally and all that kind of stuff. That could be the setup, but there are a lot of cross currents right now in anything, obviously, especially Nvidia. Watch Nvidia. I think that's really going to be the deal. And obviously Apple, the reaction to Apple is also going to be interesting because Apple's hadn't traded well either. If it breaks 160, then you're also going to have a problem. So Apple breaking 160, Nvidia breaking 400, worth watching. Especially in the next couple of days. We got AMD reporting after the close today. So that will be really interesting to see what the reaction is to that stock, since semiconductors have really not acted well lately. So we'll see. And remember, that is the linchpin to a lot of the AI and what's going on with the NASDAQ and the broad market. So if the semis can't hold on, that again will spell trouble for the markets. Okay, so again, last thing, if you want to join me for the class, sign up below, sign up for the newsletter, give me a thumbs up, and I will see you next Friday. Looking forward to a lot of volatility coming up here tomorrow and the next day. Okay, take care.